Well, it seems that Days Gone 2 is never going to happen as Ben Studios confirms a brand new live service game. Hey, what's up guys? Zach here and welcome back to VGL. It does seem like we've got some sad news on the horizon when it comes to Days Gone 2. We've done some videos in the past talking about the possibility that Days Gone 2 could possibly happen, but now it looks like that all of the leaks and rumors about Days Gone 2 are fake and the game has never actually been in development. Now, before we get into the deep dive of why Days Gone 2 is not happening, if you guys could, before we get started, drop a like on this video, subscribe with your notifications turned on so you never miss a future upload. Also, I wanted to remind you guys that we're giving away a PS5 at 80,000 subscribers. If you want to win, all you have to do to enter is like this video, subscribe with your notifications turned on, tweet me proof that you're actually subscribed, and we'll be picking the winner at 80,000 subs. All this information will be in the pinned comment of this video. So a few months back, the hopes that fans were wanting a Days Gone sequel were recently dashed by Jeff Ross, a former Ben Studios game director, who basically had this very disheartening message when it comes to the Days Gone sequel, and it reads this: a lot of people still ask me if there will ever be a Days Gone sequel, so I submit this poster as evidence that it will never happen. Sony higher-ups like Herman were never fans of the game, so you won't hear it at the PlayStation State of Play today or ever. So really quick, I'm going to source this article and read a couple excerpts from it. This is full credit to 80.lv.com. So the article starts off by saying that Days Gone, the zombie survival by Ben Studios, was originally released on the PlayStation in April of 2019, with a Windows port released in May 2021. Ross revealed in January of 2022 that the game had sold around 9 million copies, outpacing Ghost of Tsushima's 8 million sales. Now, despite its good sales and a petition urging Sony to approve a Days Gone sequel, and even the petition garnering over 226,000 signatures, Ross's recent comments suggest that the likelihood of a sequel is extremely low. Days Gone 2 was definitely not something that fans imagined. Last year, following the PlayStation showcase in May, Jeff Ross voiced his disappointment on Twitter. This event served as a somber reminder to him that the project had not been given the go-ahead by Sony. Ross even added that if the sequel had been approved, fans could have anticipated the game to release sometime in 2023. It's now been over 2 years since Sony first threatened to release 10 plus first-party live service games by late 2026, and they still haven't launched a single one. Helldivers doesn't seem to count as it's not a Sony studio. At one point, Sony had most, if not all, of their internal studios working on live service games, until that was Naughty Dog rebelled and canceled The Last of Us Online. Now, whether Days Gone developer Ben Studios is working on one, that hasn't actually been cleared up yet, but until now, it does seem like a new job listing seems to make it pretty clear that they are. Job ads are constantly revealing details that developers would otherwise never reveal in public, and this one says Ben Studios is looking for someone with a hands-on development experience and leadership roles in shipping AAA live service games. And if that quote doesn't make it clear enough, that does look like the change that Ben Studios is going for. The job listing also asks for someone who has experience redefining studios from traditional boxed product, focused on game development, into a live service development studio that has also a key leadership role. Although there's no description of what exactly the game might be, the job ad is filled with other references to live service games, and it does make it very clear that it's not a traditional single player adventure. At one point, the Days Gone director Jeff Ross said that he wanted to make an open world Resistance sequel, but now he has since moved to Crystal Dynamics to work on the new Tomb Raider game. Ben Studios has also been attached to a new Uncharted game before, but it seems like they were moved off of that some time ago. More recently, Ben Studios officially announced that they were working on a new IP that includes multiplayer and builds upon the open world systems of Days Gone. And the fact that the game is a new IP also rules out any connection with Days Gone. Oddly, despite the controversy over the game and whether it deserves a sequel or not, there are definitely plans to make a movie based on it. Whether that actually happens remains to be seen, but it only adds to the confusion of what exactly Ben Studios will be working on for the future. Another interesting comment about this article when it comes to the development of Days Gone 2, by the way, that I completely agree with. One user known as Brundleflies19 stated that I still find it hard to fathom that a company as big as Sony thought that making, releasing, and maintaining 10 live service titles were the way forward. Another user replied that I could understand if they set up 10 new studios to work on them. That's expanding the business, but if it's all existing studios that would be making these traditional games, you know, in all the probability, most of them are going to fail. It does seem like a last-ditch effort for a failing company. Another user replied that I can't believe a meeting with all the suits didn't contain anyone thinking that having 10 means they'll have to eat each other's player bases. Causing one game or the other one to sink is simply just being too many players, even for a loyal fan base to commit to. If out of 10 games, 3 hit, 1 scrapes by, 3 fail, and the others totally bomb, that really doesn't sound like a solid business plan, and there's no guarantee which one will sink or swim. Money made on one is simply used to cover the money lost on the complete others that bomb. And the final reply, I assume that they've run the numbers, and if 2 or 3 of them hit, it will make all the returns worthwhile, but totally contradicts the relatively safe and reliable approach that if they've built their success on. If they get a new Fortnite, then yeah, it might be worth it, but that's a very big if. And another user ended it by saying that this is absolutely mental. My personal opinion, if Sony thinks that they can make these game developers actually produce live service games that have never actually been in that genre before, that's just absolutely insane. And I kind of tip my hat down to Naughty Dog and say, like, good stuff. You walked away from your live service Last of Us game. They had zero faith that the game was actually going to work, and to me it truly doesn't make sense of why Sony would actually want to go that way. And last but not least, I wanted to cover this article at Eurogamer.net that basically just confirms that Days Gone 2 is not happening, and even the community manager is apologizing, saying that fans are continuously getting fed false hope. And I just thought it was pretty interesting. So the article starts off by saying that the community manager for Days Gone's developer Ben Studios has apologized to its fans. The reason for this apology is because they're getting fed false hope for the poor information by people looking for likes. In a post on the social media platform Twitter.com, Kevin McAllister said that this kind of behavior is not fair to the fans of Days Gone, who definitely are eager to hear more about the news of games, and especially games in the franchise of Days Gone. This is not something that's in the cards, and Days Gone 2 will not be happening. Earlier this week, a former studio director, John Garvin, said that he had written Days Gone with a cliffhanger, with the full intention that there will be a trilogy, not just a sequel. But this comment was subsequently picked up by fans and outlets, and all of these types of headlines originate from the previous developers, which puts it in a bad position. McAllister continued to reply to another user, like I said, people need likes, time to move on. Garvin has long shared his disappointment that Days Gone was not better received by Sony and the critics. In 2022, Garvin controversially stated that the game didn't receive universal acclaim because of woke reviews and reviewers who couldn't be bothered actually to play the game. Garvin also criticized the game's programmers, blaming tech issues such as bugs, streaming, and frame rate for Days Gone middling's reception. That same year, fellow Days Gone director Jeff Ross said that the local studio management always made us feel weird, that it was a big disappointment, and called Sony's decision not to greenlight a sequel weird. And today, both Garvin and Ross have since moved on from Ben Studios to pursue other projects, though they both still regularly post about Days Gone on their socials. So officially, Days Gone 2 is not happening. Currently, the developers of Ben Studio are working on a new IP, so the sequel to Days Gone will never happen. The current developers over at Ben Studios and even some of the previous game developers have all confirmed the game's not happening. It's a sad day, and that will wrap up today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Days Gone 2 should actually still happen? Don't forget to enter that PS5 giveaway. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This has been Zach with VGL. I'll catch you in the next one.